Back in action in the study area after a day off in Ely. Cloudy, cool, and wet up north still. A lot of snow on those ridges. Exciting for June ahead. Still May here. And my mission is to go check out some of those limestones from the north. I'm gonna descend a couple few thousand feet, whatever it is, back to those limes I started at last week. They're so intriguing that I want to visit from a new direction. See a lot of the highlands again along the way. Finally saw Mojavean in flower here, which I've never seen in flower in 6 years. Which tells you a lot about its dependency upon adequate moisture levels. I doubt I'll even find one in flower right now. Here's our friend Acer grandidentatum starting off a life. I think I collected the 4 individuals I found in flower. Here's a special native trifolium. I'm blanking on the epithet right now. Yeah, a regional endemic, I believe. Lithophragma. Coming across the west. Where's the damn Mahonia? There it is. Or Berberis, whatever you prefer these days, I guess. Technically a spineless Berberis, I guess. They're even not in flower, they're even so sterile during the wettest of recent years. That tells you a lot about their biology up here. Maybe not good, I don't know who pollinates them, but something about this area has them not really flowering ever, really at all. I was very surprised to even find 4 individuals doing so. They flower somewhat early, admittedly. So some of them could just be gone and no longer producing. Nice moss balls. We don't see any bright yellow here, do we? Usually not that hidden if they're visible, if they're flowering. So that is what it is. There's Fritillaria. Took me, 4 years to first find Fritillaria? 2021 season? Maybe even 2020. It was 2020 season. It took me 3 years to first find fritillaries. Just saw them up on the higher ridges. They're not common, but they do occur in patches. The upper zones here. Anyway, I don't think we learned too much. There they are. There they are. I'll leave these ones be to hopefully fruit. You can see it's definitely not all of them. Just some of the closest against the shade. Most of the more moisture retaining habitats, they're flowering, I guess. Lime Mountain, near 5,000 feet, southeast extent of the study area. That's the Bull Run Wash, Beaver Dam Wash region. That view also extends far into Utah. We'll be there next trip. Those are more low limes I want to check out all over that mountain. Just seen the bases a few weeks ago. Now I'm really curious about the heights. Here we are. I bet there's cell service up here. Not even gonna check though. Tule Desert down there is still green. that's a good sign. The region hasn't overly warmed up yet. And looks to continue that way till June. Dropping down to the Mojave limes. Some waters as well. Keep running into lots of butterflies and water pools. From this very green chaparral up here. Still on the very long road to recovery back to pinyon-juniper forest. That's the peak successional stage here, if you want to think of the world that way. Not everyone does. There's the remnants that have to slowly come back. The oak is coming in quite finely, though. A little too finely for exploration up there. That scrub oak is tough to get through, especially in combination with manzanita and some other things like amelanchiers. Nice day further down here on the southern front. Not getting too hot yet in southern Nevada. At least moderate elevations. Expect 70s to 80s all week for the highs, which is doable. Maybe 90 at my very lowest point. Already had that earlier this month though. Here, you can see the forest was wiped clean. Still wiped clean by some kind of a catastrophic wildfire. There's a pocket on the north face there of forest. Some cottonwoods in the gullies, it looks like, or willows at least, small ones. Very slow recovery. Quite green chaparral out here. Thankfully not too dense where I am right now. Between me and that gully there. That wash is basically taking me to the limes, more or less. So it's a good site. The invasive weeds are starting to show up. They were not really a thing so much higher up on this particular trip. Now cheats and cecimbriums everywhere. A number of other things, though lots of good stuff too. Between the Guterresias and the Chenacti and the Eriogonum subshrubs. Here's a relictual lone ponderosa. The junction of two little creeklets that are pretty much just seasonal only. Even a wet year, they're pretty low. At least later into spring now. There have been more here before the fires. Maybe a couple others lurking around here. Pretty low though, we're getting towards 5,000 feet. We're picking up Mojavean elements as we descend. It's a Fraxinus right nearby. Nice little grotto-esque feel to this place as it recovers. Be a lush woodland once again. Maybe give it 10 more years, see what happens. It'll be different, it'll be more treed. Some rather beautiful waters available for the drinking this year. I'm along the hot southern front. Not as hot as it could be this late May.
with the breeze, it's actually not even that bad at all. Anyway, there's limes ahead. That's what I'm here for. And just check them out further. I think there's a nice ridge of like a whole mile or so of lime that is worth exploring comprehensively. Duck back to that side of the range where there's a couple springs. I might need water at that point. Head back up and head back down towards lime number 2 out there, which is rather isolated massive, though still connected to this range by a ridge, albeit a low one. Finding nice things sporadically. Astragalus and a diplicus most recently. These Stanleya really love limestone in this region. They dominate where certain lime kind of powders exist. I don't know what to describe the soil texture. Powders, I guess. Powders derived from lime. Left the limes behind for now. Found some new stuff there. New aster shrub. I have no idea what it is. Excited to find out one day. I'm heading back up towards the high plateau. Gotta cross this ridge first, though. No more limes, it appears like. They just kind of taper away. This looks like the way PJ Forest should, though, in Nevada. It's nice to run into this little patch. Look at the Eriogonum and the openings, like it should be. There's a burnt portion, but I just walked through a nice flat expanse that could have really been anywhere in the center of the state. Here's the southern front. Still green this late May, though not for much longer. The annuals are toasting up readily. It's supposed to be sunny, but there's a cloud buildup on the high plateau, and that's where I'm headed. Cross a few washes here, though. Then I can head up via somewhere that I believe I've never been up before. There's a goal ahead. It's called Lime Mountain. Stop for a second. There's a natural east to west to do on there. Maybe it's more of a southeast to northwest. That's the extent of the study area. It's quite an extension off away from the main massive here, main plateau here. I don't think there's any trees on Lime Mountain. There's the core of the range up here. It's pretty well treed when it's not burnt. The east side is not too burnt out. Somewhat moderate day with the wind and partly cloudy conditions. Hopefully moving towards mostly cloudy out there as the day moves on. Here's a lime. Still finding new things just in the past hour. Found some really exciting new things last night I haven't gotten yet. They're right near the car, oddly enough. Not sure if they're known or not. There's a more eastern yucca here that was here 2-4. unknown to me. That makes 4 species of yucca here. Prevailing assumption up till 2023 had been 3 species. I forget its name, maybe Harrimanii. It's a better look at lime. Untreed. Mojavean. It's a good thing I'll be doing it later today. It's still a ways off. 4 to 6 miles, depending on the end. I'm going to do a traverse of it though, so we'll go to the far end first. And to the left there. It's a natural traverse. Using roads for now, I'm going to go up that canyon system up there. I've been a part of it before. Way back on the day, 6 years ago. But it's time for new forks and new directions up there. Way back. That's what this landscape should look like. The native annuals. Eriogonum. Not supposed to be brown out here, it's supposed to be blue-green out here. Oddly enough. Been finding lots of Eriogonum and astragalus on these trips. At least 15 new species each. 15 new to the checklist of this area, that is. Which is quite substantial. And I'm finding more astragali and Eriogonum today even. So it continues. Get ready to lime it up, limeys. Lime Mountain, straight ahead. Looking pretty green up there at times. In areas and spots. So I'm sure it's worth the trip. Looks like some fun scrambling no matter what. Haven't done a nice mountain scramble in forever. Peaks I've been doing out here have been challenging due to their chaparral densities most often, or rock piles. It doesn't look rock piley at all, it looks nice and sharp ridgy. Made it to my Lime Ridge walk. Thirsty and out of breath. 2 liters though, that's plenty for 2-3 miles ridge walk, and then maybe a couple more back to water. Immediately greeted with all these agaves at the Lime Ridge, start of the Lime Ridge. There it is. Quite impressive. Hoping to find a few special things up here at least. If not, it's quite an amazing trek out here either way, and I still found lots of stuff. Sure I'll find something up here, huh? More sterile petros here. Quite low. Just above 4,000 feet. It's low and hot for them. My goodness. Not finding a ton of new taxa, which may be a good thing, which may mean I've exhausted a lot of the lime botany, which means I don't have to go hunting for a ton of it perhaps anymore. Found a new lime canyon out there. It's not very big. It's accessible by road too. Probably worth a check someday if I feel like it, but yeah, we'll see how the rest of the Lime Mountain trek goes. Might not be finding anything new here, at least not yet, but it's amazing assemblage of Mojavean taxa of this area. Many species represented on Lime Mountain. I would venture 150 to 200 species here alone. Could have done a good chunk of the inventory just focusing here. Now I'm coming here last, close to last, not quite last, and just recognizing everything. It's kind of a nice feeling. Here I am on Lime. Not too much to say about it. There are rugged slopes that will remain unknown for the time being. Maybe till the next botanist comes along. They're pretty rugged slopes down there. Could be interesting stuff, could not be. It's the Tule Desert. It's the Tule Hills. Mormon Mountains. Las Vegas. And northwards, this is all the study area. Beyond to the Great Basin and Utah. That's Utah. That's the study area. We've covered a lot of ground out here over 6 years now. Here's the true summit. Lots of cliff bands down there. Not much up here, some old wood pile. Probably not even a sign-in thing. Pretty remote out here. No one comes out here. There's one individual of Cami Batieria here. Rosaceae, not flowering yet. Usually much higher than 4,900 or so here. A little steep and treacherous. Just found a new Ramnaceae. Yesterday was Lime Mountain Day. Slowly making my way back up to the plateau where I'm parked. Calling it quits in the study area for now. Back briefly next week. Otherwise, this inventory is starting to feel pretty wrapped up soonish. Lots of tadpoles on the larger side in the streams here. Always pains me to see them isolated in little drying up pools. Try to help when I can. Just lifted some roots, for example, that was forming some roots that were forming a shallow pool. And there were very big tadpoles isolated on the shallow end of the pool. I lifted the roots for them. Last night I was desperately searching for water all night-ish. 2 in the morning. I knew I would come to it eventually in this canyon. Just took a while. After the road walk and after Lime Mountain, I was totaled. And fighting up these bouldery, at least pebbly canyons, was quite challenging and slow. Kept running into limes on the sides of canyons, though, still even. No more limes anymore today. Anyway, as I was starting to come to the first waters, they were dried up, and various sizes even. I don't know if those are different species or just different egg laying stages. Not a herpetologist. As I started to come to the water last night, I was just finding dried up basins with dead, dried up tadpoles at the bottoms of them, and it's quite a depressing scene at 12, 1 in the morning, whatever it may have been. Good to see a lot more suitable habitat upstream. The toads, I would have called them unless I'd seen them in the water, which I did, are quite large. Toad-like frogs. Not sure if they're here every year. I'm not sure if they come up unless it's a well-watered year, honestly. There's a lot of water here during a well-watered year. You can imagine almost no water during other years. Consequently, no frogs or tadpoles. If I run into one of the big ones I'll show you, I think they're pretty much nocturnal though. And I'll show you any rich basins of living tadpoles. I don't want to show you any depressing scenes, although we're high enough now that we're a little beyond that. They're eager to come on land, I think. They're liking those shallow, warmer waters generally. There's one basically on land. They're almost ready. Not much eating them, I'm noticing. Not very popular with birds or whatever. Not seeing a lot of woodland creatures. So excess tadpoles. And in the frog form, maybe some of the hawks and other birds may come into their lives more. I have disturbed a hawk pretty recently in this canyon. They start yelling at you when you find their nests. And I just came upon one in a cottonwood. Came upon one the other day in a Joshua tree. Quite large. They've been around, surviving a while, since April, I'm guessing. It's quite cold here. Almost too watery in places. New canyon now. There's quite microbial waters. Straight up white molds covering shallow waters lower down. Show you that if I run into it again. I don't have any water with me, so I hope the quality improves slightly up towards the springs ahead. Our 2 springs ahead, and above them I'm back on the road system on my way out of here.